Hello children, I think you are all doing well staying at home. Being at home, in your daily life you see many things. You see buildings, plants, animals, roads, parks, insects, birds, and you see yourself in the mirror very often. When you see yourself in the mirror, you find some changes in your body. Yes, you see your body is growing, your nails are growing, your hair is growing. So, growth is common in all the living organisms. We find growth in plants, animals also. When we sow a seed, after few days it sprouts. When it sprouts, you start observing it day by day. After few days, it grows as a plant. Do we observe only growth in the plants? No. We also find drying of leaves. When the leaf is in tender stage, it is in light green color. Later, as it grows, it turns to dark green color. Later, after few days, it starts losing its green color and becomes pale yellow. Later, it sheds from the plants and it becomes completely brown. Not only leaves, sometimes we also see plants drying out. It is because of the lack of nourishment. Do we find change in color only in plants? No, we find change in color in flowers and fruits and also in many other things in the environment. Let us take an example of a sky. Here in the morning, sky appears in the yellow color. During day, it will be in blue, and in night we find dark sky. Even in the cloudy weather, sky will be in greyish white color. We also find seasonal changes. How many seasons are there in a year? Yes, there are 3 seasons: summer, rainy and winter. One more window here is you are finding a rainbow. When do we find a rainbow in the sky? When the day is sunny and also if it drizzles, then the water particles present in the air. When the light falls on these water particles, then we find rainbow in the sky. So many changes we find. Let us learn about these changes. So, the chapter is changes around us in 6th standard science. What are the main things we are going to learn? There are 2 types of changes. One is reversible changes, the other is irreversible changes. Which are the keywords we come across in this chapter? They are changes, expansion, contraction, melting and evaporation. Now, let us learn about reversible changes. To learn about these reversible changes, let us go through some videos. Shall we play a video now? Here is a balloon in its original size. Let us blow air into it. See, balloon is becoming large. It is expanding. Can we bring back the balloon to its original size? Yes, we have to let the air escape from it. See, balloon is becoming small. See, balloon is its original size. It is a reversible change. So, children, have you all saw a video? Yes, it is related to a balloon. When we blow air into the balloon, it gets inflated. That means balloon expands. And when we let the air escape from the balloon, it contracts. So, it is an example for reversible change. Shall we go to another example? Here is a square shaped paper. Now I am going to fold this and make a toy aeroplane. See, we have got the toy aeroplane. We can play with this. Can we get back the paper in normal form from this toy aeroplane? Yes, we can unfold this. See, I am going to unfold this now. Yes, we got the paper in normal square shaped form. Hence, we call it as a reversible change. So children, you saw an example for reversible change. It is of toy aeroplane. When we fold a paper, it becomes a toy aeroplane. When we again unfold it, we got back the paper in square shape. So it is also an example for reversible change. Let us take one more example. Here is a chapati dough. Let me make a chapati from it. Let me press this with a rolling pin. No, it's not coming properly. Can we get back the dough from this? Yes, we can get back the dough. It is a reversible change. So now also we saw a chapati dough turning into a chapati. Did we got back the dough from the chapati? Yes, we got back, isn't it? So all these are the example for reversible change. Now what is a reversible change? A change which can be reversed, that is called reversible change. Here the substance can be obtained back in its original form. So such type of changes we call them as reversible changes. Now let us continue with the same examples, how they can be irreversed or non-reversed. Shall we watch the videos now? Here is the balloon. Now I am going to blow air into it. See, balloon got inflated. Now I am going to pierce it with a sharp pencil. See, balloon blasted. Now balloon is in pieces. Can we get back the balloon in normal size with these pieces? No. So it is an irreversible change. Now you saw the balloon got blasted. When it blasted, it was in pieces. Can we get the balloon from the pieces now? No, we cannot. So it is an irreversible change. We shall continue with the second example. Here is the shape of an aeroplane in this paper. I have cut along the outline of the aeroplane and I have taken out the shape. Can I fix this back in its position and get back the paper in original form? No, I cannot get back the paper in original form. So, it is an example for a reversible change. So, it was a video of a toy aeroplane. When the aeroplane was drawn in the paper and it was cut out from the paper, we couldn't get back the paper in normal form. So, it is an example for irreversible change. Now, we shall move to another example of chapati dough. See here, I have taken the dough again and I am going to press it as a chapati. See now, chapati is ready to roast. Now, I am going to roast this on a pan. See now, chapati is ready. Can we get back the dough from this roasted chapati? No, we cannot get back the dough. So, it is an irreversible change. Yes, we made the chapati. From that chapati, can we get back the dough? No. So, these are the examples for irreversible changes. Then what is an irreversible change? A change which cannot be reversed. Here, change is permanent and the substance used in this change cannot be obtained in original form. So, it is called irreversible change. See, here are some ice cubes. Just now I have taken them out from the freezer. Now I am going to take some of the ice cubes and put it in a cup. These ice cubes are in solid state. When I leave them at room temperature, they start melting and solid state convert to liquid state, and these ice cubes slowly convert into water. Let us leave them for some time. I think you can see water under these ice cubes. If we leave them for some more time, they will be fully converted into water. If we pour this water again into the ice tray and keep it back in the freezer, we can get back these ice cubes. So, ice cubes to water and again water to ice cube. This is a reversible change. See, ice cubes are fully converted into water. Now, I am going to heat this water. This is in liquid state. See, water has started boiling and we can see few vapors here. That means liquid is converting into gaseous state. That is, water is converting into water vapor. Now I am going to switch off the stove and I am going to close this hot water with a lid. Let us see after some time what happens. Observe here, I am taking out the lid. Observe these droplets under the lid. Water vapor gets cooled, it will again be converted into water. So, it is also a reversible change. First, ice cubes to water, then water to water vapor. Again, water vapor back to water. If we put this water again into the freezer, it becomes again ice cubes. So, it is an example for reversible change. Now, in this same video only, I am going to show you irreversible change also. Here in this vessel, butter is there and I am taking small quantity of butter in another cup. This butter actually is in semi-solid state. If I heat this butter, the semi-solid state will be converted into liquid. I think you all can find this. If we keep on heating it, it slowly converts into ghee. Let us heat it for some more time. See, we got the ghee. Butter is converted into ghee. Solid is converted into liquid. Can we get back butter from this ghee? No, we cannot get back the butter. So, it is an irreversible change. Now, let us move to a few examples and we shall discuss whether these changes are reversible or not. Shall we? Batter. So, we are taking idli batter and when we pour the batter into the idli plate and we cook it, we get back the idlis. Is it a reversible change? Can we get the batter from the idlis? No. So, it is an irreversible change. Next, wet cloths to dry cloths. When we put wet cloths in a sunny weather, it becomes dry. Can we get back the wet cloths from the dry cloths? Yes. It is a reversible change. Raw egg to boiled egg. Here are some raw eggs. When we cook them, they are called boiled eggs. Is it a reversible change? Can we get back the raw egg from the boiled egg? No. It is an example for irreversible change. So, next, cold milk to hot milk. If we heat the milk, it becomes hot milk. Is it a reversible change? Yes, it is a reversible change. Cow dung to biogas. We produce biogas from cow dung. Can we get back cow dung from biogas? We cannot get back the cow dung. So, it is an irreversible change. Woolen yarn to knitted sweater. How do we get the sweaters? When we feel cold, we wear sweaters, woolen sweaters, isn't it? So, they take the woolen yarn and they knit. When they knit, we get the sweaters. Can we get back the yarn from the sweater? Yes, we can get back the yarn. So, it is a reversible change. We have some grains here. Which is the grain? What do we call it? Wheat. So, from wheat we get wheat flour. For the chapatis and all, we use this wheat flour. Is it a reversible change? Can we get back the wheat from the wheat flour? No. So, it is an example for irreversible change. Straight string to coiled string. See, here we have a straight string. If we bend this and coiled, we get the string like this. Can we get back the straight string from this coiled string? Yes, we can get. So, it is a reversible change. Bud to flower. We see usually many buds in the plants and we wait for that bud to bloom, isn't it? So we get a beautiful flower. Can we get back the bird from the flower? No. So it is an irreversible change. Milk to cheese. Here we have a cup of milk. From that we can make cheese. Can we get back milk from cheese? No, we cannot get back milk. So it is an irreversible change. See, what are you finding it here? A rubber band. A rubber band is stretched. Can we get back the rubber band in normal size? When it is stretched, it expands. When we leave it, it contracts. So we can get the rubber band back in its size. So it is a reversible change. Burning candle. I have taken this burning candle as an example. Something different is there with this candle. What is that? Here we have to consider two things in a burning candle. There are two things. One is candle and the other is thread inside the candle. So when it is burning, we can get back the candle. What about the thread inside it? Can we get back the thread? No. Thread burns out and it turns to ash. So two changes we can observe here. One is candle, it is a reversible change. Next is thread inside the candle. We cannot get back the thread, so it is an irreversible change. Like this, both the changes we can find in the same thing. Next is ice cream. You all love, no? So here is ice cream. When we take out this ice cream from the freezer, what happens? It starts melting. Yes, it starts melting. Can we get back the ice cream from this molten ice cream? Yes, we can get back. If it is kept in freezer again, we can get back the ice cream. So it is a reversible change. Now we shall discuss about expansion and contraction. What is expansion and what is contraction? Why I suddenly jumped to this concept? Let us learn about that later. Now we shall see what is expansion and what is contraction. When do the things expand and when do the things contract? See, when the things are heated, when an object is heated, it increases in size. That is called expansion. Object expands on heating. That process is called expansion. Then what is contraction? When we leave the object getting cooled, it contracts. So the decrease in size of an object on cooling is called contraction. Expansion occurs on heating, whereas contraction occurs on cooling. Suddenly, why do we want this expansion and contraction? Is there any relationship between these two and our daily life? Where do we use these concepts? Where do we use the property of expansion and contraction of objects? Here is an example. Have you seen bullock cart? Usually where do we find bullock carts? Nowadays we do not find bullock carts in towns and cities. We find bullock carts only in villages. So now we shall observe the wheels of the bullock carts. Usually these wheels are made of wood. When we run this bullock cart on a rough land, the wheel gets damaged. In order to avoid the damage of the wooden wheels, they fix a metal rim to this wooden wheel. How do they fix the rim to wooden wheel? Usually this metal rim will be made slightly smaller than the wooden wheel. They heat up the metal rim. When it is heated up, it expands. That means it increases the size. When it increases the size, they will fix the wooden wheel into the rim. Then when cold water is poured on that rim, it tightly fixes to the wooden wheel. Rim then fits tightly on the wheel. So, we can easily find the property of expansion here and also contraction. Shall we move to another situation? Here you are seeing some tools. Where do we use usually these tools? We can find these tools with farmers. In agriculture, we see farmers using these tools, and also in construction of buildings, people use these tools. These are called soil digging tools. Here in each tool we find two parts. One is blade and the other is wooden handle. How do they fix this wooden handle to the blade? I think you are all seeing a hole at the center of the blade. When this hole is slightly smaller than the size of the wooden handle, diameter of the hole is little bit smaller than the diameter of the wooden handle. First, they heat up this ring at the center of the blade. When it is heated up, it expands. When it expands, they fix the wooden handle into that ring. After it gets cooled, the metal ring tightly fixes to the handle, and we can use these tools easily for digging the soil. So, see here also we are making use of the property of expansion and contraction. Think children, think. Can you find some other example similarly? Usually where do we use the property of expansion and contraction other than these situations? Have you all come across the work of plumbing? Usually plumbers make use of this property. When they are going to fix two pipes of same size, they make use of this property. They will heat up one pipe, it expands, and they will fix the another pipe of same size into this expanded pipe. So, here also they use the property of expansion and contraction. So, in this lesson we learnt about reversible changes, irreversible changes and few concepts: expansion, contraction, melting and evaporation. So, you have to study at home and you have to be getting clarity about these things. So, we shall move to the homework now. I am giving you few questions. You have to study properly at home and you have to answer these questions.